Hello and welcome. I'm Shaunna. I'm passionate about pages, and today I'm talking about the 25-27 in color range. And the reason I'm doing that is a whole lot of products that include these 5 colors are on special this month. But if you're watching this after August, just know that because they're the in colors, they're available until the end of 2027 or September 27. Okay, so this is a very simple layout, and what I want to actually talk to you about today is choosing colors, coordinating colors on your layouts, and deciding whether you like a fast, a fun, or a fancy layout, and how to go from something like this, which is very much a fast layout, and elevate it in increments to the level that it suits your styles, your photos, your stories. So this particular layout, double page layout, I do love a repetitive element on a layout. I do love borders on my layouts because they frame my photos. And if I've got a multicolored element on my page, then I will usually go with one color behind my photos. So the way that I created the shapes that I've used across here was simply using what's it called, the to the point label punch. It's really easy to hold in your hand. If you have problems holding paper, you can just push the paper hard back against the thing and push down. And then you can either use the negative space or the positive space for what you've punched out. It cuts beautifully, and it was really easy to repeat these cuts. The papers I've used to make my border are the 6x6 in color 25-27 DSP. This is a pack of 40 sheets of 6x6 paper. Half of them will have stripes on one side and leaves on the other side, and the other half of them will have this mottled look on one side and pretty flowers on the other side. And so you end up with multiple sheets of each color and each pattern that can all mix and match along the way. And so you will see that I've used all of the different sides and all 5 colors to create my pattern. 2 of these fitted really easily across one length, so it doesn't use up a ton of the paper. And you'll find that once you have these little 6x6 packs, you'll use them over and over again. And one of the ways I like to use them is if I need to add some of the colors with another paper pack that's almost depleted, you can often just bring these ones in. Now you'll notice with these that the leaf ones, it's the true color. Okay, so the deeper version, whereas the florals, it's the lighter tone. So I really like that you can mix and match that aspect of it as well. And then if we're just looking, this one's called Secret C. If we're just looking at that against the actual cardstock, then you see that the cardstock is the really deep color. Okay. However, you don't have to use the deep color of the cardstock either, because along with the patterned papers for the in colors, there is also 2-tone cardstock in each of the 5 colors. Now, I have to tell you, Secret C is my new go-to. Secret C is the new black for me. I love that it's this really, really deep blue, and so I'm waiting on a new pack arriving. But this is the dark side, and then the light side of Secret Sea is more of a grey blue, which I love. These two are the light and dark side of Strawberry Slush, Timid Tiger, Cloud Cover, and Darling Duckling. Darling Duckling is a great yellow because the true side has got like mustard tones in it, so it's not you know, sunshine yellow, but then the other side has that flavour to it. So what I thought I would do, now I've got this layout, I've put the Secret Sea on there with the dark side, but I could have chosen the lighter side. So if I'm putting photos on here that have bright colours or a lot of light in the background, they're going to show up better on the dark side. If I'm putting photos on here that have a darker background or heavier colours in them, they're probably going to show up better on the light side. What about if I didn't want to go with that blue colour? Have a look at Strawberry Slush and how the layout changes. Suddenly, this is like, my granddaughter would love this page because it's all kinds of pink, and she'd be okay that there was some of the other colours in it. But this would have a very girly, playful feel to it. On the other hand, what if I bought in Timid Tiger? Now again, apologies, I'm waiting on my new pack of this arriving. So this is the true colour, this is the light side. With this one now, this layout would be brilliant for sunset photos. I live in Western Australia, the Kimberley and Pilbara region, the earth is this orange and deeper orange tones. So it would look great for photos. For that, if you live near the Grand Canyon or you've visited canyons and things, these would work well for that kind of photos as well. What about if we swapped out to Cloud Cover? So this is the lighter blue, and again it has that grey overtone to it. Now this layout is just really calm, really peaceful. I think this would be great. This would look great for some new baby photos. This would be great for a Mother's Day, photos of your Nana with you, or your grandkids with their Nana. You know, something where you didn't want it as bold a background. You've still got pops of colour showing here, but this is like a calmer look. And then lastly, what if we bought in Darling Duckling? Whoa, look at the energy now on this page. This would be great for photos of the kids playing with Lego or their magnetic blocks. This would be awesome for beach photos where you've got lots of water in the background, maybe out sailing. Again, nice for sunset photos if you've got lots of the darkness, you know, late in the sunset. Would look really cool in here. Great for garden photos where there's pops of yellow but not lots of yellow in it, because the background will bring out the colours. Isn't colour amazing? And this one set of colours just coordinates so beautifully together that you could choose whichever you wanted. This panel in the middle is just 6 inches. So one full sheet of cardstock did both layouts. Okay, I have put a little bit of glimmer paper in here, and this is out of a new product released this month called Peaceful Garden, and they have packs with 3 shades of, there's a dark blue, one that's almost cloud cover, and then a blue that's in between, and I just thought that framed it really well. So tell me in the comments, what sort of excited you in terms of the colours? Secret Sea, Strawberry Slush, Timid Tiger, Darling Duckling, or Cloud Cover for that middle panel? I'd love to know. And maybe tell me what photos sprang to mind when you were looking at those. Then the next thing to think about, you know, having decided what's going to go in there. So as it stands, as I said, this is a very fast layout to come together really easily. You started with a full shape and you worked along, and it was a half shape met in the middle. And then I did the opposite here, just so they weren't completely matchy-matchy, because if they are, you have to be spot on with the matchy-matchy. So by changing it up, you can be a bit out. I put the half ones out on the side. And I didn't do it in a regimented, repeated pattern. It was very random how I gathered them together and which side I used. So don't feel you have to have a particular method to it. So now let's think about photo placement. So because this is 6 inches, I would trim my photos down. I would take 1/4 of an inch off the length and 1/4 of an inch off the width, so that they were then, the large photos were then 3 1/4 by 5 1/4. And you could have 6 of those in a row. But I often have a mix of landscape and portrait photos in the arrangement. So I might cut down these ones. I'd cut them down to 3 1/4 across, but I would have the 2 photos join, and so I would only need to take 1/8 of an inch off the height of them. If you wanted to have a gap, you could take more off the height of them, but I think it reads really nicely along if you have them joining. And then I always like to include journaling. So I cut a piece of DSP to the size of that photo, and then trim down a piece of white paper, a white cardstock, just a fraction more, so you just get a little pop of that colour. And again, this piece could be any one of those papers that you've used part of. So you see then we've got, what have we got, 7 photos on this layout, and it looks really clean, really classic. If that's your style, then that's where you would stop. I quite often like to have a title on my pages, and one of the things Stampin' Up has done, this was a stamp set that was part of Celebration in January and February at the beginning of this year, and Celebration is going away, and so they are selling off the last of the supplies of these. So this particular stamp set has made a reappearance in the Last Chance range on my website. So if you didn't manage to get this one in Celebration, you might like to grab it then. I have used this so many times because the sentence stems all match up with the day. So one of the things that you might like to do is use these spaces for a letter, okay, and then choose one of those sentence stems to have maybe across 2, so a perfect day. I really like oh what a day, so that then you've got a fun title on there. The way that I've made the title is that I have taken the word, just pop this out of the way, and I brought in my Stampin' Write markers, and there's a set for the in colours. These are on special also this month if you haven't already got them. And what did we do? We went pink, yellow and orange is what I did here. Okay, So maybe I'll mix it up, and this time I'll show you the 2 blues and maybe the yellow on the top. There's two nibs. I'm going to use the brush nib, and I'm going to brush across. Should have started with the light, Shaunna. Haven't done this for a little baby bit. The reason you start with the light is that then the darker colours won't contaminate the nib of your light one if they overlap. So, and then the cloud cover in between. Now you can just stamp that straight down, but I quite liked the idea of having a bit of blending going on, so just a really light spray with a water bottle. I'll just do this off camera. And you'll see the colours run a little bit, and then pop it down and put a bit of pressure on it so that you smush the colours around a little bit. And then when you pick it up, just pick it straight up. Oh, fun! So you see where the cloud cover ran into the Darling Duckling, you get some green shades coming up there. So that's how I got this. I need to leave this to completely dry, and then take your journaling pen and just draw inside and around any of the contours that are in the middle to get that look. So you could see that would look different on there. Such a fun technique, and it's great to do with really bold, solid stamps. Alrighty, so that's that one. So yes, I think that's the way I would like that one to look. And so now it's gone from being just fast to something a little bit more fun, more playful in there. Okay. You could also put something down here. You might have some other stamps that you want to add on there. You've also got some other ways that you could dress this up, and I was having a play. Excuse the dinosaurs. This is just a piece of paper I was experimenting with. I always keep any things that didn't quite work that I can use the paper for other things. So what I did was I had a little play again with the markers, because for this I use the brush nib end, but there is a bullet tip as well, and you can use the bullet tip like a journaling pen. So I was experimenting with, what about if I echoed the shape outside, either with a dotted line or a pen line, or what if I used a different color on the top of it? How would that look? So, you know, that kind of thing. For me, I think that looks really cool. I could definitely do that. And I was thinking that could look cool, that you would match the color to the shape and then swap to the next color and the next color as it went along. Could be really fun to do. Do you like that idea? And then the other thing that you can do is have a look at the floral papers that you where you punched out, and there will be lots of partial flowers and a couple of whole flowers that you can fussy cut. Okay, so that it's not a waste not, want not situation. And then one of the things that you might like to do with that is you might like to just choose one or two colors. Obviously I wouldn't do it to the one that has the florals on it. I might just do you know, maybe 2 in this line, 3 in this line, and you know, the opposite, or do some around one of the words. And any partial flowers, just tuck them under the shape and kind of build up around it that way. coming up here, and then put a couple of the full flowers over the top. So you would get just a more decorative look, and all you've used is the paper that was left over. Yeah, so that's another way you could decorate it. And then there's a super easy way you could decorate it. Just gathering these little samples here. There is a pack called 2527 in colour flat pearls, okay, and you get all 5 colours. This is only part of a sheet, and there's large, medium and small dots, and can you see they've got a real pearlescent quality to them. So what about if you took a large one, and in between the gaps, so I'm matching just to the one to the left of it, you added in these into the gaps, and you could do like big on the bottom and then the medium ones on the top if you liked, or just have them on the bottom, and it would just be another simple way to take it, you know, from fast to fun or a little bit fancier, or you could combine all of them. So what do you think? Like, tell me in the comments what appealed to you, you know, using the title across the top, adding in some of the cutout flowers, adding in the pearls, or adding in some of the pen stitching. Let me know in the comments, and if you follow me on Instagram and Facebook, in the next couple of days check out Passionate About Pages, and I will show you what I decided to do out of all of those things. Thanks so much for watching, and happy crafting!